Hey there, this is your pal Pallie, and welcome back to Overrated. This is episode number 5. And hopefully my voice doesn't give out today. I've been at a Blues game. Yeah, go Blues. 162 tonight. Awesome game. Don't get to go very often, so fun. The subject today is going to be talking about not burning out your raid and yourself in playing WoW. But first, couple quick things. One is Agathon from TankSpot, who you should know well and love, does Agathon's Rage Bar. You might see him featured on TankSpot and on blizzmaster.com. He's sponsoring a contest called Get Buffed, and basically it's a weight loss type challenge, and you lose weight, or you sponsor people who are losing weight, and you win some cool prizes. Head on over to blizzmaster.com and go to their forums. They just got brand new forums. Yay. Cool stuff. And Agathon's probably going to, if he hasn't mentioned this on an ARB already, he probably will. Maybe it's happening at the same time. But anyway, there's rules and cool stuff and submission threads and all sorts of fun stuff there. So check this out. You can win like collector's editions of Warlords of Draenor, free time in WoW, so, bonus. Go do it. Go check that out. Second thing, real quick. I'm loving all the feedback and people. I just got this, one guy randomly, I was sitting in a pug group, and he was like, man, I really, like what you're doing with your channel, and I like your stuff, and I'm like, holy crap, people are watching this? I mean, I know there's views and everything, but it doesn't ever translate to me that, hey, there's actually someone viewing this for a long period of time and watching me sit here in my Blues jersey and my cats talking about WoW. So, awesomeness, and give me feedback on how you think things are, and put comments below, and send me tweets on Twitter @GetARaid, just whatever. I'm loving this show so far, and I hope you guys are too. So I just wanted to shout out and appreciate all the new subscriptions and appreciate comments and stuff. So thank you. Appreciate that. So let's get into it. The subject of not burning out. You play WoW, play it for a while. I don't know, you may play it casually, semi-casually. You may play it 40 hours a week. I don't know, whatever your normal play time is, at some point you start to feel burned out. But more importantly, what I'd like to touch on is not how to, not feel burned out yourself. We'll maybe talk a little bit about that. But the big thing is recognizing your raid group as a raid leader is burning out, or people in your raid group are, and what you could do to sort of help it out. In the end, throw out the rest of this video. The number one thing to remember is you can't prevent people from burning out. You may just have to recruit people. You aren't going to have the same 10 or 25 people in your raid group for 3 years straight. If you do, you're awesome, and sign me up for that, because some stability and everything. But you're going to have some turnover. People are going to burn out. There's sometimes nothing you can do about it. Just absolutely nothing. So take all the rest of what I say with that in mind. But there are a lot of things that you can do to sort of spice things up, keep it fun, keep it fresh. So what I'm kind of talking about in general is raid groups that have been together for a little while, and you're hammering on some boss, or getting really bored on a farm night, and people are getting, either just meh or outright just hating each other or whatever. So, couple things. Progression should just continue. That's without saying. Your progression raid guild, you're trying to kill stuff, whether you're trying to kill Garrosh on flex mode, or you're trying to work on heroic siegecrafter or something. Anywhere in between, or whatever progression you're looking at, you are still trying to proceed and go forward. And people get burned out when that doesn't happen. And so, one of the better things to do is to make sure that you are progressing and doing it the best. But there's a lot of fluff around progression that can slow you down and get people burned out on things. So, we're 16 weeks or so into Siege of Orgrimmar. 17, I guess this will be Raid Week 17 when this goes up, or maybe 18, I don't know. Anyway, we're 4 months or so into the Siege. And Throne of Thunder was out about 26 weeks, so about half of a year. So we're pretty far into Siege at this point, and most heroic guild, the top have killed Garrosh and are, sipping their martinis on the beaches and, watching the rest of us struggle through things. But a lot of guilds are sort of halfway through heroics, or 10 out of 14 or so. A lot of guilds are just getting to killing Garrosh and moving on to heroics. So it feels like in general people are halfway through stuff. And, putting my speculation hat on here, I need to get a hat that is like speculation or something. Note for self. We're probably going to see another 16 weeks of this raid tier, just from the standpoint of we haven't had a beta come out yet for Warlords. There isn't sort of rumblings of it yet. People aren't barraging Blizzard for when's the beta, and we're not getting any little hints and things there. So it feels like a beta is maybe, I don't know, a month, 2 months away. And a beta for an expansion is going to take a significant amount of time. So a lot of people are speculating June, July, August is when the actual expansion is going to hit. So that's another 4, 5, 6 months of Siege at this point. So, I love Siege at this point. I'm still having fun killing the bosses and even the farm stuff. But after another 4 months or so, a lot of people are going to be burned out on killing immerseus again, or killing whatever again and again. And that's understandable. It's the same stuff. And maybe even if you're running 2 groups, like me, or you're doing flex at the same time that you're doing normal mode, and you're killing the bosses over and over again, the same bosses, even though it's 2 different difficulties, that wears on you. And so, I just wanted to throw that out there, that this is one of those sort of pivot points in the tier where you can do some things to sort of freshen it up and get people okay, yeah, we just killed immerseus. It'd be cool if I get some Warforged gear, but that's another deal for another day. But I'm not really excited about killing immerseus again on normal or heroic or whatever you got at this point, or flex, whatever. I don't want to kill immerseus again. So here comes the first tip: don't kill immerseus. If you are working on something, and this is obviously dependent on your raid group, but if you are working on something farther down the line and you just sort of want to keep that progression going, extend lockouts. And again, this depends on your raid nights, depends on the gearing of your group at the present moment. But for example, my hunters group, actually both groups, honestly, which is why I'm bringing this idea up. Both of my groups feel to me at least, we're at a point where the farm bosses that we're doing aren't really giving me specifically, sure, I do pay attention to my own gearing, but aren't really giving a lot of things to the raid group that are oh yeah, finally I have this. Yes, there's some outliers, there's melee in my hunters groups that have never seen a neck drop. Our tank and Pallie are in 530 Throne of Thunder. Well, I think some of them I think they've got a 543 from Timeless and upgrade, blah blah blah. But anyway, they have not seen a damn neck drop from anything. So there's exceptions. I understand. You know, you're missing that one trinket. You're missing that one thing. But it feels like if there's, you know, 16 slots, is that right? I don't know. Say there's 16 slots to equip. You probably have 14 out of 16 pretty good. Maybe you don't have all your best in slot, but they're probably pretty good. So those farm bosses just don't feel as valuable to you anymore. Yeah, you might get lucky and get a Warforged piece and go, sweet, few item levels. But at least to me, I mean, I like gear and everything, but at least to me that doesn't feel like enough of an exciting thing to do in order to kill immerseus again. So if you're really working hardcore on something, like, you know, for example, in my hunters group, we're going to start working on spoils heroic. Maybe the best thing would be to just spend the 2 raid nights that we have working on those new things. And yes, there's a danger there that I'll get to as well, but you may be able to just say spend that night or 2 on that boss, get it done, and then that's it. That's all you do for the week. You're done. You don't have to go back and farm those 8 bosses, 9 bosses, 10, whatever that you have done, unless you really do need the gear. And that's, you know, I'm going to recommend that only for people whose groups feel like the ones that I've got here. But like I said, both of my groups feel this way. I've got my Holy Paladin that's got like so much off-spec gear, it's ridiculous. And my healing gear cannot. I can get a ring. That's it. A normal mode ring. You know, we just finally killed Grosh. Yay! A normal mode. But like, I can get a ring. Yeah, I'm not that concerned about a ring. So what we've done in the past few weeks, because we really want to kill Garrosh, is we've only worked on Garrosh. And here comes tip number 2. What worked out this past week was we killed Garrosh on the first night of raid. We were only going to raid 2 nights because one was New Year's Eve, blah, blah, blah. But we killed him on the first night. Then night number 2, we were like, let's go do some fun stuff. Let's go. We tried to do a Shaw heroic kill back for tier 14, but my lockout was weird. I don't know. It didn't work out. But we were like, hey, let's go into flex mode and do all of these achievements. And we took sort of the same group with maybe a couple more people that were, you know, sort of our rotating group, and we just went and did flex mode, not for gear, because again, the gearing wasn't the thing, but just to do the achievements. And at the end, I know I got the Galacrest, I got the achievement, the meta achievement, the Glory of Siege of Orgrimmar Raider, but, and maybe 4 other people did, thinking. Anyway, a lot of people got to get the Paragon's achievement where you pick up the buffs and all that kind of stuff, and you got to work that out. But we just did all of the achievements, and it just was a nice, fun night. We rolled through the stuff. It was easy. It was like, hey, let's coordinate a couple things. A couple of them you have to do. I had to pay attention a little bit, but like we wiped, you know, on purpose to some of them because we failed the achievement. Like, I don't know if I think we wiped on Iron Juggernaut heroic because there was just so much damage because we were doing stuff weird. But anywho, just wiped that. Whatever. Pull it again. It's normal mode. We had to stop DPS, or it's flex mode. We had to stop DPS because we were about to kill him and we didn't have enough superheated mines and stuff. Which, by the way, I do have a lot of footage from all that achievement stuff, so at some point in the near future, hopefully, I'll have some of those guides out to just say, here's some quick tips on all of the achievements and getting the glory of achievements, so look for that soon. Anywho, the point was that it was just a fun night. It was just like a, let's hang out, let's kill these things, let's roll through this stuff, let's do some easy stuff, and laugh at each other's messing up on something simple and doing stuff. You know, it was just a fun night. And you need that every now and then. And that's the point. Go do something easy-ish and fun enough that you can just hang out with your raid group and not be focused on, oh my god, that hunter just failed to trap the ad yet again. Why can't we down this? Just stuff like that. You get into that with the progression. So go do something fun. So there's lots of things that you could do. Recommendation wise, you could, take a night to do stuff like we did, like the achievement run. You could take a night to go back to Throne of Thunder and roll through some of those achievements, or roll back all the way to tier 14 and do achievements and heroics in that realm. So, again, depending on the progression of your raid group and everything like that, but people in like a 5, maybe people who are doing normal modes at this point are average of, 540, 550, something like that. Going back to MSV and rolling through heroic Mogashan Vaults should be cake. No problems. So just find something like that. Find something fun to do. If your raid group also likes raided Battlegrounds, go do those for a night. I would never do that because I don't really like PvP, but that's another story as well. If a bunch of people want the night off and you're like a 10-man guild, go do like challenge modes. I mean, just other stuff in the game. And there's so much to the game, and you can just find a lot to do. So, again, keep it fresh. Find something else to do for a raid night, and use stuff like extending raid lockouts to give you that extra bit of time to go back and do some of that stuff or do something else. Keep it fresh for that 1 week, and maybe you only do something different for a week. Maybe you just take this week, this raid week that's upcoming, and go, hey guys, we're going to extend the lockout, or we're only going to kill like the first 7 bosses, and then we're going to quit right there, or we're going to spend the rest of the night on boss number 8, and then wherever we're at, that's it. Night number 2 is all about this, whatever. Have fun with it. So, I know it's tough to think of this as helping your progression, but it might. It might help someone who's been sitting in your raid group going, I don't want to pull this again. I don't want to go through this again. It might give them that week off that lets them stick around for another 6, 7, 8 weeks. And then you do get the stuff down the next week. And even, something that we've done in my hunters group so far, which seems to work out for my raid group, I'm really not sure why, but even like previewing the next bosses on progression. If you're like a heroic guild and you killed stuff on normal, even like doing your farm stuff, and then like what we did, we looked at Malkorak, and we looked at Spoils, and we looked at Thok, and we pulled them like 5 or 6 times, and just got a sense of like, here's the damage output for Thok. Here's what we have to look out for. Here's, like, we already sort of got how tight the Spoils, check is, how quickly we need to pull stuff. And that sort of, you won't be able to do this in Warlords, but you can sort of cherry pick it a little bit and go, well, this fight feels a little bit better for our raid group. Let's head down this way instead of just doing it in order. And, that lets people feel a little bit like you're working on the easier stuff first. And then you may find when you go back to something that you skipped, oh, this wasn't as hard. Cool. Let's finish it off. So, do stuff like that. Preview bosses and pull them on, the better, harder difficulty, and go, yeah, I get a sense of that. I get my raid group a sense of that. And it feels a little bit like progression to some people. It feels like, oh yeah, this is some hard stuff that we're going to be doing. Okay, cool. I still feel like we're progressing. So, And to that point, there are a lot of different people in your raid group. Or at least I hope there are. If you're like multi-boxing with a friend, like you both have 5 and 5 and 5, and you're killing stuff, get some videos out there, man. You'd be freaking famous. But anyway, there's 10 other people or 9 other people in your raid. There's 24 other people in your raid. People are going to be motivated by different things. So figure out, some of my recommendations might not be good. If you have a lot of people who are into gear and customizing their stuff and having the best in slot, then don't do what I said about skipping your farm and extending lockouts, because they may be really cheesed that they don't have that heroic Warforged immerseus trinket, and if we don't have that, then I'm out. Peace. So be careful with what you do, but you have a lot of different people, and they may have some better ideas as to what they want to do. If they do want some time off, if they do want to do something different for a night, do it. If they do want to do the farm stuff again, cool. But find out how your raid group is feeling. Just hey, ask. Why not? See what people are thinking. And that sort of gives people an outlet for not burning out, because they can tell you, man, I just don't want to pull this guy again. And then you just decide to skip that one on heroic. You do it on normal. You don't worry about that one this week. So ask people, see what's going on. And so that brings me to a slightly controversial thing, which is well, not controversial, but anywho, I'm doing a World of Warcraft show, and I'm probably going to tell you here, you might want to do something else for a bit. If you're a guild where it's fairly social, you talk in guild about different games. I mean, we all play different games. We enjoy different stuff. If you only play World of Warcraft exclusively, then you're probably missing out on a lot of cool stuff. It's a great game. It has so much stuff out there. But why not try something at a different speed? Even like sitting down and playing Candy Crush on Facebook is something different and something that's not in WoW. If they put Candy Crush in WoW, that wouldn't surprise me. Anyway, even doing something like that and breaking out of your routine of what you're doing, your dailies, you're logging on to do your cooldown, your profession cooldowns, your capping your valor and all that other stuff. Even skipping some of that for a week to just go like play something else probably will do wonders for you. Because I know I like to play WoW, obviously, I play it quite a bit, but I also like I raid 5 days a week, which that's not going to be what I'm going to raid soon enough. Soon we're going to, well, next expansion it ain't going to be like that, but anyway, that's another story. And if that's spoilers for my raid groups, then sorry. But anywho, I raid that many days, but like on the Friday and Saturday when I'm not raiding, well, Saturday I'm doing this show, but Friday and Saturday when I'm not logged in and on WoW, I'm playing Minecraft, which is just like mindless, creative, waste my hours away doing random stuff that then I go back to WoW and I'm like, okay, cool. Now I'm going to go get my Valor done, and it all just seems to make it feel better because I've done some other stuff, another game, and it feels different, and I come back to WoW, and you also get another sense of how polished WoW is, and that's another appreciation. That's probably a whole other episode, but go do something else. Play another game. Or even, I mean, there's also the whole go IRL. Go do some stuff with your family. Go to a blues game. Go do stuff like that. Focus on that for your off time, and try not to make WoW turn it. And the whole point of this all
is to just try to not make WoW be a game that turns into a job, because it's very easy. It's very easy for that to happen. And a lot of people felt that way at the beginning of this expansion with all of the dailies quests and the reputation grinds and all that other stuff. Yes, I know it wasn't all necessary, blah, blah, blah. Let's not hash that all out again. But when it gets to that point where you feel like you have to log on every day or else you're going to be way behind, then that's probably not a good place. So, find other stuff. Find some things to do. Do some stuff with your raid group that's different. Skip a raid night and skip a regression night and make it into something else. And you'll have people who stay for you longer. You'll have more social, you'll have more fun, and all that kind of stuff. Now, obviously, if none of this applies to you, everyone's happy, everyone's having fun, don't change a thing. But thought I'd throw it out there because it's a common occurrence in raid groups. It's a common thing that happens to raids. So, anywho, thank you for watching and listening to Overrated again. It's episode number 5, talking about raid group burning out. And again, check out blizzmasters.com and Agathon's Get Buff competition. Cool stuff there. Keep the comments, subscriptions, spread the word about the show. I mean, I like hearing that people, like I said, like hearing people actually watched it. So keep spreading the word to people that it's an interesting show. At least I hope it is. If it's not interesting, tell me that, because I'd like to improve it. I'd like to do better things. I hopefully have increased the audio quality. I've actually got the mic sitting right there, so it's should be louder, and I've tried to filter it out better, sync it up a little bit better, all that kind of stuff. So I've gotten that feedback, trying to improve it. I do it. I don't get cheese that someone told me that it was a little bit out of sync, and I never said, no, just I'll go fix it for the next time. I'll do it. Yeah, sure. Make my show better. Let's do it. Still got the cat. There's the cat up there. And go Blues. Thanks again, guys. Have a good one.